Alright everybody, so I got a slight upgrade for the 7.3 liter Power Stroke here. Let's open this box up and see if it's in one piece, because the box is a little beat up. It looks pretty good. Alright, so as you guys know, one of the major problems that the 7.3 liter Power Strokes have with the 4R100 transmissions is overheating. The stock oil cooler is just a complete joke. If you do any sort of serious towing or even just driving around, it is very important that you upgrade it. It is key to keeping your transmission alive as long as possible, because in case you don't know, heat is one of the main killers for those transmissions. So as you can see here, I ordered myself a 6.0 transmission cooler. I believe I got it off Rock Auto, I think. I can double check that. But yeah, 6.0 trans cooler. This should really aid in keeping the transmission cooler, because it is getting a little hot just driving around town. It's getting up to like 180 degrees, which is not normal. And I know I might be masking another problem by putting in a bigger trans cooler, but it is what it is. You know, gotta keep it cool. So what I want to do next is get the old cooler out and do kind of like a side-by-side comparison so you guys can see the differences. So let's get to that. So I finally got mine completely out. Mine was actually not even bolted in. It was actually set up behind the AC condenser there. So it wasn't even in the stock spot. So I think I actually have a smaller trans oil cooler. So as you can see here, this is the one that was in mine. Your guys might look a little different. Might have brackets on it. And this is a new one. This is the old. This is the new. So as you can imagine, it's a pretty big difference. I mean, there's my hand. There's my hand. I think this will definitely help to cool that transmission off just a little bit more. So I am going to have to undo this latch, which I did not want to do, the hood latch. So if you're going to do that, you want to mark it first where it actually sits. So use your marker or whatever marking compound you got. Just mark exactly where that's going to sit, because you want this to be exactly where you found it. Otherwise your hood will not close right. That should be good there. So now we'll take this off. We'll slide it right down in between there. We're gonna have to go get some bigger hoses. Alright, now hopefully we can drop this in. Fingers crossed. Alright guys, it is now officially the next day. I unfortunately had to get some hose clamps and some other parts to put it all back together, but I did get this in the mail. So for those of you who don't know, this is called the cooler bypass line. And what it does is if your trans cooler gets clogged or the lines get clogged, the fluid will actually run through here to the back of the transmission to the front of the transmission. Completely cuts out the cooler. That way your transmission will not completely overheat and destroy itself. Some people say the way this works is that in the wintertime it actually warms up the fluid quicker. Some people say it doesn't, so I don't really know who to believe, nor do I care. I'm just going to put this back in just to make sure that the one I have in there is currently okay, since it is overheating. But let me show you the progress of what I got done yesterday. Alright, so we're going to go over a few things here just to get you up to speed. As you can see, I got the latch back on. You can see my markings are still there, so I know I got it in the right spot. If you look down there, you can actually see the new cooler. So with this cooler, I actually had to flip it around backwards. I think it's backwards, just so it would clear the AC condenser right here that was in the way. But I got it bolted in on the sides there. So you can see my new lines here. This is the line that gets sent back to the transmission, and then this one here comes from the transmission. As you can see, I got my handy dandy zip ties here, and the reason for that is because I had to flip it backwards so it doesn't meet up flush against the frame here. So what I do have is this, which is actually for shocks, but what I'm going to use it for is kind of like a spacer. And basically the way it's going to work is I'm going to have to grind it down a little bit, but it fits in here perfectly. I'm going to grind it down, get a bigger washer to go on the back side, run a bolt through that, and I actually have a hole under here that I can get a nut onto the back side of the bolt. And that way it'll actually be mounted on both sides. It won't just be zip tied, just because this engine moves around so much because it is a diesel engine. But yeah, the only thing I have to do now is get the hose clamps where it goes into the cooler itself, which you guys can't see, it's too dark, which is up there. So I'm going to get to do that, which is going to take a minute because it's a very tight space. So as you guys saw there was no leaks at all in the trans cooler, so now there's nothing left to do except put it back together and take it for a test drive, which won't be till tomorrow morning. So I'm going to throw it back together real quick, and then laughing at my dog, and then we'll take it for a test drive tomorrow morning. Oh, before I forget, if anyone knows where to get a new badge that can go right there, please let me know, whether it's eBay or somewhere online. Let me know so I don't have to buy a whole new grill. And if anyone's selling a new bumper, you can see I got some nice holes like right there, and I think that side's okay. It's just this side from whoever had it before me, so let me know. Alright guys, so that is going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up. The last clip you're about to see is me taking it for a test drive tomorrow morning
and I'll kind of show you how hot it's getting and if it even registers, because it was I have 100. My thermostat that I put in there starts at 140 degrees, and I see typically with this bigger cooler you really won't see temperatures above 140 unless you're towing something. So tomorrow morning we will check that out. So thank you guys again for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, like I said, and give it a big thumbs up because it helps out a lot. So see you guys in the next video.